Hello, Hot Breathiverse. We are back. This is Hot Breath Live.
Yeah.
We do this every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday,
Every
baby.
Tuesday. This is our last one. This is our first time. Our first and last. I've been on vacation with family the past 10 days, so I am bouncing back into it. This is my first day back in the mix.
Nice.
But we're here, just the two of us. We've been having some guests on, and I will say, Yoshi, next week we do have a guest who's an AI expert. So
I
that's going to
like
be
that.
fun. He
Awesome.
he was like the head of innovation at PayPal, and then now
Hell
he's doing all this AI and creativity stuff. So that's gonna be a banger. That's next Tuesday, so y'all be sure to tune in.
yeah. You guys tune in for the guy who's going to take all your gigs,
That's right. Or you learn how to take them first with
or
AI.
you learn how to take them first. Hell
Well, we
yeah,
thought we
dude.
would come back in and just do an internal ep where the boys just get back together, the hot
The
brother and the
boys.
sisterin, and
The
fellowship
boys.
around the gospel of comedy.
hmm
Answer your questions live. We did miss last week. If you were on our email list, you would have known that. So if you're not on our email list, join the email list. That is where you're going to get all the up to date news and fun events and classes and podcasts we're dropping. So join our email list. And you also would have
Boom.
seen that I dropped an interview last week on the YouTube channel. At the same time, we do the live streams. But instead of live stream, I live premiered an interview I did with Rome Green, who was in a group called Dormtainment. That was the first comedy group on the internet, really. They had a YouTube show that got picked up by Comedy Central. They were really like the first of their kind. So that's a really good episode. You can learn about the business side of comedy and how it merges with technology. But
Yeah.
you got to join these live streams. You got to get in on these goods. So we appreciate everyone that's joining us live. Already posting questions. I guess we should announce Yoshi's comedy special.
Let's go.
I guess that we should do that first.
Yeah.
We're dropping it on the YouTube channel next Monday.
Next Monday,
It's
October
funny.
28th,
Yep.
9 p.m., baby. 9 p.m., baby.
Yes. It's going to be so exciting. Monday at 9 p.m. we are live premiering on the YouTube channel, which we will also be promoting in our email list and such. But we really want to get the Hot Breathiverse rallying around. This is really the first of its kind. We're really venturing out. We're expanding the Hot Breathiverse into more than comedy education. We're actually going to start the people who have been learning the comedy game and applying it. We're now going to start showcasing them. And who better to start with than Mr. Yoshi So? So
Let's go.
next Monday, you can go ahead and I will have this up by the time. Actually, I won't make any promises, but join the email. It's like how you listen to a podcast and they're like, that'll be in the show notes. That'll be in the show notes. And then they've said like 8 things that'll be in the show notes. And you go to the show notes and none of them are there. Anyone who's ever tried a podcast understands and can empathize with that. But
Yep.
yes, next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So join the email list to get more updates there. But how you feeling? We pushed it back a month. We really are we want to do it the right way. And I think
Yeah.
going through this process, tell us, because, I've interviewed several people who have gone through this process. And
Yeah.
what has been your experience? What was surprising to you, maybe? Like, what was harder than you expected? Or just what are you going through right now? We're about to drop it next Monday.
So honestly, I'd probably say the thing that I was most worried about was like just the video and like just the editing and all that. And I probably took way too long on the editing. So that's a big lesson for me, probably for the next time, is probably just kind of like hunker down and do the editing sooner. I was doing it like in spurts because I was just like, it felt like I hate watching myself. But then being forced to watch yourself for such a long time, I was just like, and it just felt like painful a little bit. But then once I hunkered down and did the editing, I was like, okay, now that the editing is done, I'd probably say, that interview that we did with Steven really kind of kicked myself into gear and was like, yeah, let's make sure we market it right. That's the reason for pushing it back. And
Mhm.
I'd say like just getting and working on all the marketing stuff has actually been really fun. And as a marketeer, like professionally, I forgot how enjoyable I actually like enjoy this part of it. And I think I forgot it because I've been just in the trenches of just doing the comedy part of just like, all right, just worry about the comedy, worry about the comedy. And so kind of getting into the marketing has been very fun for me. And so I'm looking forward to just like releasing and just showing the world like outside of the special, but just the work effort that was put into it as well. And then also like I'd probably say I didn't think I was going to spend as much as I did. So just the budget, like just throw that budget away. You know what I mean? Like you'll figure it out at a later time. It's just about getting the product out more than anything. So, I didn't even hesitate when Steven gave us suggestions on like who to use. He was like, "Hey, I got a guy." I didn't interview him. I was just like, "All right, I trust
Right.
you." I don't. I had no idea what the number would be, but it didn't matter. And so I was just like, whatever it is, that's what I'm paying for it. And it was well worth it. Like all of it was just kind of like just well worth it overall to get the actual thing like done. And now that I've got it, like just I'm super excited about all the small pieces that we're releasing. I also hired like a virtual assistant since the last time to help
Mm.
really with like just marketing, like even that conversation that Stephen, I've been thinking about a virtual assistant for like months, dude, just months.
Yeah.
And hiring one, it took me like a week or so to just figure out all the stuff that they would be doing. But once I sort of like got that piece done, having them work on like my social media and the stuff that I just don't really like enjoy doing, as much has been super helpful to actually focus on this, to focus on getting the stuff out for the special clips, videos, trailers, like working with an editor to like get a trailer done, working with the main editor of the special to like tweak the last little bits of the special itself. So it's been just a fun process. I would say probably the thing that I'm also recognizing now is I can't wait to do it again, man. Like
Mhm.
I'm so ready to like have this go out into the ecosystem and then run it right back. Like in all honesty, I think that's the thing that's sort of brought a lot of joy to me in the last month is now that we're like close to the finish line, just having that readiness to do it all over again. Kind of like something that Adam said, we're just like, I know I'm not using all these jokes. I'm kind of ready to release all the stuff that I didn't do from
Mhm.
before, work that stuff out, add the new stuff, and then kind of like do it again in a couple of months. So, and just learning from all of the experiences of putting this out has also just been helpful. And, I also didn't like do a lot of research on all the specials that I like and didn't like until I'm releasing the special. Until I'm like listening back to interviews on Hot Breath of people that put out specials, and I'm like, all right, what I like here, what I didn't like here, what I like here, what I didn't like, and
Mhm.
sort of just put it all together. So it's been really, really good.
Yeah, and like Adam Mueller is someone we've had on the show several times who's gone into detail about producing two specials now. It just adds a whole
Yeah,
nother level of respect, even though we already had, but just nowadays with everyone seemingly releasing a special, it seems almost like passe of like, oh yeah, you just say jokes and they appear on YouTube as a special. It's very easy. And then you get into like the nitty gritty and you're applying what you've heard on the podcast. And now it's like, oh my gosh, every step of the way, there's always something. Everything takes longer than you expect. everything costs more than you expect. It's just a lot more than to be expected. And I think
Yeah.
definitely it's wise to think, and this is what I didn't do with mine either. I didn't think about the marketing until after everything was done, as
Oh,
opposed to
yeah.
reverse engineering. What is this special about? What is this kind of
Yeah.
like how Steve Byrne talked about on the podcast? He always starts with the end in mind and then works backwards with his special. He has like the title first. So I think that's a
Yeah.
moving forward, that can be a way as we do more specials on the channel of like, all right, does this is this special unique? Does it have something fun and unique to say? And can we almost like reverse engineer and market it in a way that will give this special the views it deserves, really?
For sure. Yeah. And I think also just like being intentional about it. Like I feel like that's what you're saying, like kind of wrapped up is just being intentional about what you want to get out of the special, right? And kind of remembering the story from it. And so, the special is truly just like I have a theme that I want to get out, and also just always remembering what that theme is based on every marketing activity that I'm doing. Like, does this serve the theme of the special? Does this serve what I'm doing? And making sure that that's like relayed in all the activities. So yeah, it's been good, man. I've been enjoying the process, and yeah, the pockets are a little lighter, but it's
Yeah.
all worth
And it was the
it.
intention you had of like what do you want people to think and feel at the end of this? Like what do you want the energy of the special to be? What do you want people to feel during, before, during, and after the special? So
Yeah,
I think that was
yep,
also helpful in the marketing side of things. And like, does the music express
yes,
this fun energy we're trying to convey? Like, do the titles and the
yes,
font, like, trying to think of it from every angle like that.
absolutely. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a good like just uh it's been a good moment to like recognize that it's so many layers to get this to the place that I want it, but also releasing also the energy about anything related to the content. Like that's done. Now it's just the marketing. And then as soon as the marketing is done, that's done. Like,
Mm.
and just, I don't want to say it's like checkboxy, but it's like put in all the hard work to do the thing that you want and then go get that thing done.
Yep.
Now we're there kind of thing. So like, I mean, Joel and I have had like weekly meetings about what activities happening, what we've put out, where
Mm-hmm.
things are. And so like just being accountable even on that level has also been helpful just around like doing this. And I would say that's probably another thing that I think is also very important that I'm have to remember is that you don't have to always do this yourself. I think
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times we as comedians think we have to do everything. And be solely responsible for everything that we do. And sometimes I think it's important just to like have a team, have people that you like trust. I've sent you the special, you gave me notes. I've sent it to other comedians, they gave me notes. And so like just using your ecosystem as well to get on board with what you're trying to do. You tell them your vision and you say, hey, can I get some feedback on this? And I think all that is like super important. But that's probably another thing is like the team aspect was something that for me that I recognized was like important. Just having people behind you to make sure that this is also as successful as you want it to be.
For sure. Yeah, and that was something
Yeah,
from Stefan's interview, which if people haven't heard, that one was a man. I mean, we just dropping so many
anger,
bangers. It's like
anger,
we've been on a
banger.
run with guests. It's kind of hard to remember all the game that's been dropped on here lately, as opposed, I mean, really the past almost decade, really. But
Yeah,
light flex. But yeah, Stefan was a big. I think everyone should go listen to it to help with mindset and just treating your comedy like a business, and remembering his name is pronounced Stefan and not Steven. So I think that'll be the big one you'll take away from that.
Steven understands.
Yeah. And And I see people asking about Monday and also the contest. Yeah, on Monday, I did this like joke writing contest, $100 joke writing contest for people. They wrote a new 60-second set in 2 weeks based on a theme. So we're actually doing the live finale of that at 8 next Monday. So we'll
Nice.
be doing that up until basically Yoshi's special, to when you can just jump over and watch Yoshi's special, because we're really trying to
Oh,
push as many people as possible into the live premiere. So we won't be doing like a live stream like this. We'll be in the live chat of the live premiere. Because if we're doing a
yeah.
live stream like this, you're watching a video of us watching a video. So the live stream will get views, but not the actual special uploads. So we'll be doing a live premiere where we'll be in the live chat along with y'all, hanging out and such. So
Yeah.
just to clarify how that's going to go down. So yeah, next Monday as well, we're doing a live premiere or live stream of the finale. The top 3 finalists in that contest are going head to head to head to
Head
see who
to
wins the
head to
$100 and an interview on Hot Breath Podcast. It's just, we're mixing it up. We're trying new and exciting things to showcase the community, which is very exciting. I'm so excited
Yeah,
about
man.
that. We interview so many dope comics, and it's like, we got a lot of people just creating dope stuff in here that everything doesn't have to be interviews. So we're really about to just take the comedy game by storm here. So thank you all
Yeah.
for who asked about that. And let's get into people's questions here. I know Dubs General asked if you're dropping the trailer. I think the trailer's pretty much done, right?
Yeah, we're
You-
like 95% done. We just got to like one small edit, but we're probably, we can drop it today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Really like
yeah.
just like one thing that just needs to be like one or two things that need to be changed. But yeah, we likely will drop it today or tonight.
Yeah, that's just one of those things. Everything's just so incremental. That's why you want to work with trustworthy people who it is like, oh, it's there. Oh, wait, can you change this title? Or
Yeah.
okay, we're there now. Oh, wait, how about over like a little bit over here? Take this little part out or add that, and have like 10 versions of a 60-second trailer. So you want to be work with people who understand the process and actually are invested in seeing this succeed and really care
Yeah,
about
man.
seeing this win, and it's not just like another project for them. Um,
Yeah.
so
Uh,
let's get into some questions here. What do you think?
let's go, man. Let's go.
Bob Kirk asked, "What are you doing, Yoshi, to promote your project?"
So at the moment, I have kind of like a calendar scheduled of all of some of the clips from the special, and we're gonna be teasing those pieces out in the next like week. So we just been cutting those clips, getting those ready, and then you'll see it end with, "Hey, come watch the special at this time." And so that's what we're doing. And also, I have been sending it to like comedy bookers as well, of just like, hey, check out the special. I'm going to release it, uh, mostly to try to get me booked, but also to be like, hey, this is what I've been doing. Because they'll ask, I was recently at the Laughing Skull Comedy Festival this past weekend just to hang out. I was in it last year, but just to
Mm-hmm.
hang out. And I've been, talking to people who are like, oh, so what you been up to? I was like, oh, I got a special coming out. Give me your card and I'll send it to you. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Right. So, that
Nice.
place has like the best of comedy industry, people from late night shows to Netflix to Rhizome, Don't Tells, like all the kind of big comedy names. Just mingled with them, letting them know what I've been up to, and yeah, I'm gonna send it to them as well. Just like work on and give it to as many people as possible, and then I'm also gonna cut this bad boy up and try to get it onto Sirius XM as well. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
the promotion piece I'm gonna try to do. So we're trying to get it out there. And the other thing to think about is like just up to the time we release it isn't when the special is like done. we're still going to be doing more stuff even after it's been released as well. So just know that like the promotion doesn't stop once the special is out. We're going to also be doing more and more things even afterwards.
Yeah, and we're really, I mean, learning as we go in a lot of ways. And we're really trying
Yeah.
to figure out a system that other comics can start to follow as well. Of like, okay, you want to release a special, here's like the steps to think about in that process, and really trying to almost create like a framework for people that want to do their own special to try to think through things. So it's like we pushed it back a month, and we could keep pushing it back and keep finding things to tinker and whatnot, but at a certain point it's like,
Yeah.
all right, let's just go, and we'll keep going even after it's out type deal, instead of everything has to be perfect and ready beforehand.
Absolutely.
So we're kind of learning as we go here as well, and kind of just building it in front of people. So I mean, that's what this show's all about. So it's a learning process for sure, but very exciting. So next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, fam. Don't y'all forget it.
Don't. Oh, get it.
So let's get into some of y'all's questions here. And I'm going to scroll back up. I know if, sorry, y'all, those questions were near the bottom, but they were relevant to kind of what we were talking about at the time. So don't worry. I see y'all who asked y'all early questions. So as y'all are watching, I mean, we're at 25 people right now, which is dope. So please hit the like button, share the link to this video. Go ahead and share this in Reddit or a Facebook group or whatnot, where you know there's people that like learning comedy. And we're going to answer y'all's questions. So
Bye now.
the first question, or really the next question here near the top, Chicken Joe Clark, and then we have Daphne. What's a piece of advice an older comic or mentor has given you that truly resonated with you?
Hmm. You know, I'd
Hmm.
probably say out of the classics, like a lot of with older comics, really, the biggest piece is just trying to get on stage and then getting on as many different types of stages as possible. That's probably the two biggest things. But I'd probably say the one thing that has resonated with me is around preparation for any of the sets that you do. Like the more you prepare for that environment in terms of like practicing your set, like in the car, practicing your set on a run, practicing your set like in different places in the shower, on the road, just the more you practice your set and just saying the words, the better it comes out when you are performing. And so that probably be the biggest thing that someone has told me is like, hey man, you gotta say it a lot. Say the words, like get it out. It being up here is great, but you gotta say it. Like your mouth has to say the words and you have to say the joke the way that you are trying to deliver it to the people. And just getting into that routine of that editing and practice is was very vital in terms of advice.
Yeah, I had a comic named Rodney Perry who told me early on. Uh, it was more just an observation, but he was, I would do all black rooms. I would be the only white comic, and he was like, you don't pander. He's like, be sure to never pander, and just basically try to like talk down to the room or try to align in a certain way just to appease a demographic they're performing in front of. I always approached my jokes with, okay, does it work in front of an all black room? Does this joke work in front of an all white room? Does this joke work at a church? Does this joke work at a strip club? Does it work at a comedy club? Does it work at all? I tried to make sure if a joke worked in front of one audience but not another, then I would get rid of it. And I always tried to make sure that the jokes could connect with as many people as possible. So that was something he pointed out early on that I was doing that really inspired me to keep going in that direction and being intentional with creating authentic original material that isn't pandering. And I think that can apply to all comics, regardless of your skill level, always just trying to write from a place that is authentic to you because that's what people connect with the most.
Facts. Yeah, I
Good
like that.
question. Great
Yeah,
question there.
a lot. That a
Yeah, yeah,
lot.
yeah. And the next question here, and remember, we do this every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to join us every Tuesday on this live stream. And the next question I'm seeing here was from Daphne. I've been feeling a bit uninspired of late. Thoughts for how to get my groove back?
Mm. All right. How Daphne got her groove back is the new game.
No! Yes, Queen. Yes.
What did Rodney say about pandering again?
Oh, hilarious. I just
I'm
totally
so,
contradicted myself.
so messing with
That's
you.
so
No,
funny.
it's fine. No, uh, I think one of the easiest way to get sort of out of a rut or when you're feeling like uninspired, this is going to sound very just cliche, is to just schedule time to actually do something that you're uncomfortable with, which is like the Right 10 Club, I think was one of the most amazing things for me is that it forced me to write every single day for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just showed up. So the key to really getting out of a rut is just showing up. Even just like saying 10 minutes, even if you do 5 minutes, just 5 minutes and just get anything in your head out of your head and just like start there. Even if you can get to 1 minute, writing every day for just 1 minute will get you out of your head and try to increase that number more and more over time. But like just 1 minute of actually forcing yourself to write. And I hate to use the word force because it feels like I'm just like, you gotta write, you gotta write, you gotta write. But it's just like take a word out of a book and let your mind wander and just write it down. Type it out, whatever you want to do. But set yourself a timer and just like get out of that kind of rut. But being on a schedule, I think, has helped me get out of ruts. Being like, all right, I'm kind of in a funk. All right, let's get on the schedule where we just write. And here's the thing, the writing is terrible for me, but it takes time. And then I'm like, all right, I'm back in my groove. And it takes like a couple more times of writing, and then I'm back at it, and I'm not in that rut anymore. And now I'm feeling inspired, and I write even more. So that's typically how I do it, is kind of like get myself on a schedule of just some kind of regiment that I know I'm going to stick to.
Yeah, and I think just lowering the bar as
Boom.
well on, okay, I need to be inspired. Like the question is, I've been feeling uninspired. So basically,
Yeah.
how do I get inspired? And I think it's just lowering the bar and expectations and not thinking, oh, I even need to be inspired to start. I shouldn't start just because I'm not feeling like it or there's nothing to really do. I think most of, I mean, she didn't specifically say writing, but maybe it's just her groove in general. But it's just always starting is the hardest part. So even if it's just instead of you performing on a open mic, you go and watch an open mic and you just get
Mm,
into that environment. You don't have the pressure of having to perform. You're just going to watch and see what can strike you and spark your inspiration that way. And just
boom.
yeah, lower the bar and expectations cuz it's all consistency. I mean, even now it's highs and lows and crests and
Yeah.
troughs, and you'll feel super inspired and motivated and feeling a lot of momentum, and then all of a sudden there's like a reset or you're just not feeling it, kind of like today's show. But we're doing it anyway. And no, I was excited to do the show. I was just feeling kind of run down. So no, I was very inspired to
Yeah.
to definitely to be here with y'all today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think just lower the bar and just kind of give yourself grace, and don't think you gotta do magic every time you sit down to create something.
Yeah.
Watch comedy. Just kind of watch a comedy I've been watching Leslie Nielsen clips lately from like Naked Gun, which are so funny and just like one-liners and misdirects. So I'm starting to try to also find inspiration in other realms beyond just stand up to kind of scratch that creative itch. So, what else do you enjoy doing? I don't think it always has to be comedy all the time. What else can you do to keep your creative juices flowing?
Yeah.
Great question there, though. But it's up and down for everyone at every level, for sure. The difference between the pros and the amateurs are that the pros do it anyway. The pros do it especially when they don't feel like it. That's really the difference. Ooh, this is a fun one from Luke Harris. What do you think will take the place of a JFL credit now that JFL is gone? Skankfest or Don't Tell?
I mean, I don't think anything's going to replace JFL in terms of that credit. I do think there's going to be someone that sort of comes in and either tries to sort of just do a festival. I mean, you got to think like when JFL kind of dropped, Netflix kind of took the ball and ran with,
Mm.
hey, we're just going to do Netflix as a joke fest and just had a whole bunch of people. They brought out people. It was pretty much like a replacement for JFL as soon as they did it as well. And obviously, they've got more money than God. So they were able to just like complete it without the worry of going bankrupt. And so they easily sort of just did that. I have a feeling that Netflix Festival they're gonna likely do that every year. It was very successful. A lot of people got just, I don't want to say blew up, but people got to see many small time comedians that they did not see before. Like there were some local comedians here that got opportunities that they would have never gotten if it wasn't for Netflix as a joke. But they got those from being at other festivals, right? Like
Right.
the festival sort of run is really around people seeing your growth, and being like, huh, I saw you a couple years ago. You've grown as a comedian. We'd like to invite you to this place. How would you like to open for somebody big kind of thing? So like it's about just putting that work in. But I don't think anything's really gonna, you know, take JFL's place. I just think someone's gonna try to fill the void in terms of just doing more festivals or just more places that comedians can be seen.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I think JFL got bought by a group called like Comedy Ha, I think. So I
Yeah.
think they may try
Yep.
to keep it alive, but I know the big value of JFL, even with friends who've done it in the past few years. I mean, it's more the networking side of things than the actual credit. Like you being on JFL, you put it in your bio, and now a comedy club wants to book you. Maybe an
Yep.
agent finds you from JFL,
Yep.
or a very well respected comic you meet at JFL then refers you to a club that they then want to book you based on that name or whatnot. Um, but yeah, it's interesting that I mean, gosh, people are going on Don't Tell, and then their career changes like a Tonight Show, and then other people go on there and nothing changes. Similar Dry
Yep.
Bar, the same, but they just get a dope clip.
For
Dry
sure.
Bar the same way. All these platforms, there's always the opportunity for it to blow up, but I mean, just like Johnny Carson, some people perform and nothing changed, or their careers went sideways after that, and they quit or whatever. There's no like one kind of silver bullet. I think it's an accumulation, and like you said, a lot of it is comics being at other festivals, and almost all that momentum builds up to like a JFL to Netflix as a joke. It's never just one thing. You assume like, oh, all of a sudden they blew up here and then life was easy for them. There's always
Absolutely.
a foundation of work for the most part behind these blow ups.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think that is, I mean, in being at the festival this weekend, sort of just hanging out with people, that's where a lot of conversations I had with like comedians were was, hey, one thing isn't gonna do it. You just got to be
Mm-hmm.
out there, just grinding it out. I mean, I know people that have been in that Laughing Skull Festival, which is probably top. two top three festivals to get into as a comedian that have been there multiple times. Nothing. And then people that have been there one time blew up. Like it just is what it is, kind of thing. So you just got to do a lot of at bats. You just got to be out there and put yourself out in as many places as possible. Submit to the festivals. Go meet the industry folks. Um, put out an album. Like work. You know what I'm saying? Grind. Make sure your bills are paid. Like do all the things that you've heard people talk to you about. Like at the end of the day, just getting on stages a lot really does
Mm-hmm.
make you better comedian, right? And like, but outside of that, there's a business side of comedy. Learning the business side of comedy, listening to people who have, put out special. I mean, I've been in I've been in marketing for 22 years, and I'll take marketing advice from someone who I don't think has that level of expertise, but because I respect them and I'm like, yeah, tell me all this stuff. Have I heard some of this before? Sure, but I trust you because you're actually grinding out and you know exactly what you've done. And I think that's an important thing is like be humble and know that you don't know everything. I don't know everything there is to know about putting out a special. So when Stefan came out and said all this stuff, I was like, this is great stuff. I'm gonna just duplicate it. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
just do exactly what he just said, and just be like, I literally hired the exact same thumbnail person that he did. I was like, sure, why not? And I think just knowing when you don't have all the answers and try to find someone who does know the answers and someone who can help you out. So I think that's an important factor as well.
Yeah. What do you wish existed, and then work towards creating that? I think most of the things I've done have been things I wish existed, and then you just kind of
Yeah,
put in the work to see them through, and then see where
yeah,
they take you. But
yeah.
it's all incremental. Was this the JFL
All
question? Did we just go on like a whole tangent? He was asking what's the next
it.
JFL credit, and we're like, just
Yep,
do your best, kids, and stay
yep.
in school and
We sound like two old uncles.
stay
Back
consistent.
in my day, back when they had HBO comedy.
Yeah, but I guess to encapsulate the question, it's tough to know what the next credit would be. I think it depends on your audience. What is the credit that's going to take you over the edge? But it won't just be one thing.
I can tell you this based on all the industry folks that I've been talking to and just having those conversations. A lot of times you're going to have to make it on your own before the industry puts you on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my favorite
Like,
quote. When I interviewed Tamara Goins, who runs like
yeah,
comedy innovative artists, she's like, "You don't need a manager until you have something to manage."
yeah,
People
yeah,
people assume a manager and agent is the thing that's going to get you to where you want to go, but it's like, no, you almost have to do it yourself, and then they can put gas on the fire. Really, that's really
yeah,
how it works. So,
yeah, yeah. And I mean, you got to think about that as your career. Like, don't wait for somebody to tell you you can put out an album. Just go put it out. Like, go do the work. Go fund it yourself. Like, find ways to get things done as much as possible. Um, a friend of mine said the industry has time to take from you or to like do things with you much later on. But if you got time now, go do the thing that you want to do. Like, go fund that project. Go do that creative thing that you want to do more than anything else. And so, yeah, I think that was just a important thing to know that, you know, being self-made is how a lot of comedians became successful. I mean, you think about Schultze,
mm-hmm.
that's what we call him. Uh, he grinded on his own, found a nice little niche, and now the industry is calling. You know what I'm saying? Now he's in movies. Now he's on Netflix. I mean, it's just like, but all that, it's the grind.
Several comics have now followed the Schultz path as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Great question though. Yeah, I don't think there's one thing that would replace it. I think everyone's kind of finding their niche audience and can serve them. But it's important not to pander and get lost in just one audience. I would like to
Yeah.
say, especially just developing at the comedian, getting well rounded. Um, Benjamin Richmond. How do I perform like it's not memorization and robotic?
Hmm. One one good idea that I got from, I'm forgetting his last name, Jason Rowland, who is from the World Series of Comedy,
Uh huh.
is when you record yourself, watch yourself back without words, and then watch yourself back with the words, like on audio, on like with on mute basically, and just watch your body language. And if your body looks to you like it's robotic, then that's what you need to work on. If it feels like you're just like stiff staying up there, then the next time you do your set, move around a little bit while you're talking. Like sway, whatever you got to do, just improve on the thing that you don't want to do anymore and just practice that thing. I always think it's important whenever you go to an open mic is to go with an intention. So the next time you go to an open
Mm-hmm.
mic, if you feel like you're robotic or like you're coming off as robotic, pick one thing that you want to change that's not robotic and try that for that evening. Either like your first minute that you're not doing a joke, you're just talking to the crowd, and then go into your material. Now your set isn't as robotic, or at least, 20% of it isn't. Just improve on the things. And then the next time, maybe do 40% isn't robotic, or 40% is like not your set, or you're just like doing crowd work. Just whatever you can do to sort of improve. But it's important to watch yourself, record yourself, and edit yourself on an ongoing basis.
And I think, excuse me as I'm yawning from this very in depth and engaging conversation. What is helpful as well is to not rehearse robotically. Like when you rehearse at home, rehearse conversationally. Really practice your set off stage like you would want to say it on stage and pause where you expect the laughter to be and really almost rehearse it in that more conversational way. And in the short term, be okay if it is robotic at first and just know you're ironing out the kinks, and every set is an opportunity to get 1% better. And over time, it'll grow and develop and evolve as long as each set you're getting intentionally 1% better each set. So if that 1% better this time is okay, I'm rehearsing a set and going and performing it. I'm going to try to remember all of my jokes and just go do this regardless of what happens. The success is that I got on stage and said these jokes out loud. And just start
Boom.
there and build from there. So yeah, don't be
Yeah.
afraid to be robotic at first and just know it's all part of the process. But I think it will help you to rehearse more conversationally as if you are on stage, and that'll start to translate into your on-stage performance.
Like that.
All right. Let's try to cram a few more of these in as we're coming up to the buzzer here. Um
People ask me if I try to sell it. Somebody asked me if I try to sell it. Uh, I have sent it over to people, but I haven't tried to sell it. I just sent it over to people that were interested in seeing the special. So I've just, dated it and sent it to them, but I haven't tried to sell it. Sell it. If you know somebody who's willing to buy, that's got, a brink truck ready to back up and give it to me, let me know. But I've not tried to sell the special. But I have, connections with people who are in the industry who are like, oh yeah, we'd love to check it out.
Very nice. Oh yeah, and I see Dubs General in the chat said also being around other comedians will get the thoughts going just being around other creative people. Yeah, so that helps as well. I think that could have probably
That.
referenced Daphne's question earlier of just feeling uninspired. Just getting out in the mix can help spark some inspiration.
Yes.
So, the last few at the buzzer here is it's Nazi. How do you think Dave Chappelle works on giving the audience the most unexpected answer? I think he just understands joke structure and misdirection and can just do it on demand. I would say that's how he says things the audience doesn't expect. Just he understands a joke. Setup punch. Surprise.
Surprise.
There we go. And as we land this plane, don't forget, everyone listening, this Monday, 9 p.m., we are Monday, October 28th. We are live premiering Yoshi's special on our YouTube channel. And that same evening at 8, we're actually doing a live stream of our joke writing contest finale as well. So it's going to be a big night for the Hot Breathiverse next Monday, as we're unveiling two new programs on the Hot Breath Comedy Network. So very exciting. And the last question, as we land the plane, I actually just saw someone saying if we can name open mics in Atlanta. Justin Wilson asking. That's good for the pod. That's good for everyone that listens in Toronto and India and across the pond in Australia. We see y'all out there. We see y'all out there watching all around the world, and we appreciate it. So, yeah, Atlanta open mics is going to be great. Atlanta, you know what? We could make this how to find open mics in your city, wherever you are.
Yeah.
And I don't want to oversimplify, but Googling open mics in the city you're in is a great place to start. If you're in our Facebook group, you can always post in there. We have thousands of comics from all over the world in there. You could post and say, hey, I'm in this city. You want to know of open mics? These could be music open mics, comedy open mics, poetry open mics, karaoke nights. You know, it's could be any of them. But Atlanta Comedy does have a Discord you can join, and there's a calendar on there and all of that as well.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to say just Atlanta, and then,
Yeah.
people in Nashville are like, what? Well, people actually, Nashville may drive.
For sure.
People in Virginia, how about that? I'm trying to name places I know people are. We all over, shouty. DC, Toronto, already said Toronto. We see all of y'all.
Yeah.
So I guess we should land the plane. Yoshi special this Monday, 9 p.m. on our YouTube channel. Go to our YouTube channel and go ahead and sign up to hit that notification to join the premiere, because we really want to blow this baby up.
Yeah. We're super excited. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be fun, man.
Congrats, buddy.
Looking forward to it. Monday.
And we do these live streams every Tuesday at 5. So thank y'all for hanging out with us live or listening later. Adam Vale said Connecticut. Yes, thank you. Letting us know. And, of course, New York and L.A. and Austin. But we like all communities that listen. So this is a very good outro. People are just slowly drowning out of this. They're like, wait, what is Joel falling asleep as he's ending the show? No, we'll see y'all on Monday. We're live premiering Yoshi special then. But until then, join our email list to get updates. Am I missing anything, Yoshi, besides that I should have thought before ending the show?
No, you're doing good, buddy. You're doing good. This is great. See you on Monday. We're super excited. Come for a show. Stay for the experience. We're going to have a good time, man. I'm excited.
Yoshi So, American African, premiering on the Hot Breath Comedy Network this Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see y'all there. We love you all. Bye, y'all.